It's a beautiful day in Alaska today, but it didn't start out that way. About 4.5 inches of snow again last night. It'll melt fast. It's a spring snowstorm, but it was kind of shocking. I'm not used to seeing this since I've been up here at all. I mean, it just flat out dumped. Chickens won't even come outside. It's all snowy. It's not that cold. Yeah, maybe even a little more than 4 inches. Crazy. Just nuts. Well, so much for the quick thaw that I was hoping for. That's not happening this year, it looks like. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm going to go shake off the chicken wire roof. Well, hello. I'm going to shake this off and get it so it doesn't collapse anymore. Crazy. Oh well. I just got home from work. I'm going to fire up the generator and charge up some stuff. But yeah, nuts. Just nuts. Spring will get here eventually. It's not unusual for it to snow in April, but I think it's rather unusual for it to snow this much in one quick storm. The temperature wasn't even that cold. It was like 35 degrees. It just flat dumped yesterday. It's all part of living in Alaska. There you go, a little bit of Funny River as it starts to break up and flow back into the Kenai River, which is just right up the road here. To me, the river's freezing and unfreezing is probably the most significant seasonal change here in Alaska. And I say that because as the river freezes, it freezes slowly, kind of like the season. It's going to sleep, just like everything else in nature around it. And then as it breaks up in the spring, and it forces its way back through and all breaks up all the ice and, goes from a trickle all the way to a mighty river like the Kenai, making its way towards the Pacific Ocean. It's just kind of like spring up here in Alaska, right? It's just blowing up. It's busy to get started. Kind of like me. We got a little moose here on the side of the road. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can you do the fandango? Good morning, guys. A baby moose and a mama moose. There was a moose on the previous segment, and there's another moose sitting over on the golf course over there. Holy smokes, 3 moose together. Some days I see quite a few moose driving into town. Some days I don't see any. There's a moose right there on the left. Are you waiting for your turn to cross the street? There's a moose over there on the left. Probably can't see it. I'll pause it and let you know if it's there. But that's moose number 5 that I've seen today. It's crazy. Living out where I live, in the beginning I wouldn't see moose at all. Pretty rarely, unless they were right in the middle of the road. But eventually your eye gets to the point where it catches them. So moose count this morning, 5 so far. just recording a quick hello and good morning for TikTok, and I'm going to include that right now in this video, even though the aspect ratio is completely different. Remember what I told you about, and I've seen 2 moose so far today, and I'm not even a few miles down the road yet. Remember when I told you that moose can come out of nowhere? So I was recording well, you'll see right now. Let me show you, but it was pretty awesome. Good morning, TikTok. 7 o'clock in the morning here in beautiful Alaska, where it's got chilly again, and our temperature right now is 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so well below 0 in Celsius. But I just thought I'd jump on here and say good morning to you because it's a gorgeous day. I'm going to flip the camera around and you can see what I'm looking at as I drive to town. Look at that sunrise. Is that pretty or what? Well, actually, sun is. Hello, Mr. Moose. And that'll get your attention there, folks. How can something that big just jump out and surprise the heck out of you? Okay, I'm driving to town to do my laundry and I need to pay attention. You guys have a great day. Woke me up real quick. There's moose number 3. I think we got moose number 3 over here. Yep, there's moose number 3. Morning. That's 72. 4, 4, and 4. Two. White. There's white. 2, 3. There's white. There's yellow. There's red. So you may be thinking I'm starting too early, but for those seeds that I just planted, I'm not. If anything, I might be starting a little bit late. I planted 3 varieties of onion, and here in Alaska, the onions that we want to grow are the long day onions because we have so much daylight, obviously. So I went with the white sweet Spanish, the Utah yellow sweet Spanish, and then the red Weathersfield onion. I've never grown onions before, so it's an experiment. One thing I should have done was I should have mixed that that starting soil there, that seeding soil. I should have mixed that a little bit with some water and got it moist before I tried to do what I just did. So I did it the old-fashioned way and put the water on the bottom and I'll let it wick up. I'm not really worried about it getting too wet. When that moisture gets set in there, I'll go ahead and I'll lift the top tray out again and I'll pour all the rest of the water out, and then from that point going forward I'll water it. I put it on the sunny shelf inside the trailer, and that's actually why I got that rack to begin with, was to start seeds, although I didn't have much success last year. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really do it to the level that I wanted to do it last year. There was just too many other things going on. So the only thing that I'm probably going to start soon here is I've got a couple of packages of, I've got basil, and I've got, find out where it's at here, oregano. So I'll probably get those started because I can actually do those in containers. And I have quite a few containers sitting around here between buckets and everything else. And I love fresh basil. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give that a try this year as well. I tried basil last year with a plant, and I think I started it too soon and had it outside too soon because it ended up getting nailed by frost. So we're going to do those from seed this year as well. I also got a whole bunch of more seeds from M.I. Gardener because I won a YouTube live chat contest on another channel. It was Me and You Acres did it, and I got a $25 gift card from them for M.I. Gardener, which is awesome because I've always wanted to get their seeds. So I've got Bull's Blood beets here, and these are a 50 to 60 day item. I've got yellow zucchini and black beauty zucchini, and these are 65 days on the golden and 55 days on the good old-fashioned green zucchini. I got a salad mix that I'm really looking forward to planting because I want to be able to harvest fresh salad all throughout the whole summer. I've got the golden Detroit beet. That's a 50 to 60 day one, so these are a lot of shorter season ones. I've got the Bloomsdale long-standing spinach, and that's 28 to 45 days, so that'll be a quick harvest. I'm probably not going to use the pickling cucumbers this year because that would be way too much work for me going down the road. And I have another package of Ford Hook zucchini here as well, and that one's a black beauty. So I'm just going to plant the one variety this year. I am going to do these German giant radishes, and they are a 30-day maturity, which would be nice because I love radishes. Golden ball turnip, I'm probably going to do as well because it is a root crop. There's 50 days for that one. Ford Hook giant Swiss chard. I don't know if I'm going to do the Swiss chard or not. We'll have to see. I don't have to use all these seeds this year. And I'm definitely not going to do the garden bean bush blue lakes. Because again, that's going to be when the garden really gets expanded. But I may play with these ones right here. And these are sugar pie pumpkin seeds. And what I'm thinking is that I'm going to plant that small section on the end of the garden. So here, let's just use this as 20 feet by 40 feet, right? So on this end of the garden, the end closest to where we're standing now at the trailer, we're going to do potatoes, probably 3 or 4 rows of potatoes. I'm going to do onions, and then I'm going to do these turnips and beets for sure. And then radishes will be intermixed in there as well. And then the entire rest of it, I think I'm just going to start a bunch of these. There's 15 seeds in here. I think I'm just going to start them all. Get them all going. And what's the days to harvest on this one? 90 to 110 days. So I'll probably get these started tomorrow afternoon in another container that I have. And we're going to plant the rest of it with pumpkins. I don't know that they're the sugar baby pumpkins, so maybe I'll be able to get some fruit off of them that will actually be harvestable, that'll actually be good. They're basically the pumpkin pie pumpkin, but it'll be fun to grow. We need to have a little pumpkin patch, if anything. What do I have coming up? If you were watching the live yesterday, which would be last Sunday after this video comes out, you saw the basic plans for the cabin. I'm going to be getting the material list finalized up for that, or at least for the subfloor today. The subfloor and the framing of the walls. I'll get all that material list done today, and then I think I'm going to start buying lumber this week. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure that this week I'm going to take a trip over to the Big Orange store and buy my first load of wood and get it sitting here anyway, getting it ready to go. What are you doing, chickens? Huh? What are you doing, girls? We've reached mud season. It's that time of the year. So the snow boots are up and the mucks are on. These are muck chores, and they're a waterproof boot that I like to wear around here in the spring. I don't wear them in the summer that much, mainly because they sweat so much inside of them. The temperature today is almost 50 degrees, right? I've been waiting for that temperature for a while. I'm digging out some of the equipment that I'm going to need. Figured I'd uncover this up because it'll heat up and melt a lot faster without that tarp on it when the sun's just beating down on the metal. I want to see what I've got for wood because I have a project I want to do on the chicken coop. I want to move the nesting boxes from the inside to the outside, give them more room inside, so that way when I have the new batch of chicks that are going to hatch or that will be delivered, or I'll pick them up on the 5th of May, when they get big enough to be put out in the run with the rest of the chickens and doing their thing in the coop, there'll be plenty of room for all the birds in there. Dug out the sawhorses because the project I'm going to work on right now is something for the cabin. And while I can't actually put the sonotubes or anything in the ground right now, and obviously, look, it's mucky right now. I can do a couple of things for it right now. The beams that are going to hold the entire subfloor, the cabin and everything up, I can build those beams now. Rather than buy the full lumber, I'm going to build those beams off of 2x8s nailed together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build those now. Get those done and out of the way. I can take them and scoot them off to the side after I build them, and then they'll be ready to go as soon as the cabin sonotubes are in. I just need to get one last measurement, and then I'll be able to a measurement of the thickness. Basically, so a 2x anything, so a 2x4, a 2x6, a 2x8. 2 is the width, and 6 would be the height on it, or 4 would be the height on it. In reality, that is not what the dimension is, but that is the standard name for it. A 2x4 is actually 1.5 by 1.75 or 3.5, excuse me, yeah, 3.5. So a 2x8 is actually 1.5 by 7.5. So it's a 1/2 inch shorter, but it's milled and ready to go and clear all the way through. So originally I was thinking I'd do the 1, 2, 3 beams laminated together, sandwiched together, but that will only give me 1.5, 3, 4.5 inches in width. So if I do 4, I'll end up with 6 inches. So it'll be 6 inches by a 6x8 when it's done, and that will run the length of the entire bottom of the cabin. I usually buy new snow cleats every year, and here's a great example why. Because while I walk on the snow here, when I get to work, I'm walking on pavement and ice, and it takes its toll on them. So this one has broken off of one of these holders, and because of that, it's pretty much no good anymore. I do have them on because it is slippery out here on the ice and the snow that's still left. So I'm going to see what I can do about jury-rigging this to make it work for the time being, but I buy these new every year. Okay. Hasn't even been burning for 5 minutes yet, and it's just rocking along. That is a quick way to start charcoal, and I actually prefer to do it that way, but I need to make sure I have more charcoal on hand. That'll get your coals ready quick and in a hurry. You don't need starter fluid or anything. Super simple.